Dear student, today we are going to discuss about the biomechanics of hip joint. Hip joint is a classical example of ball and socket variety of synovial joint because it is a synovial joint, so it contains ligament and capsule, and ball and socket type of synovial joint, so it has two articular surface, one is convex and other is concave, and one articular surface is formed on the femur and other on the acetabulum. So in this video series, first we will discuss about femur and acetabulum, means hip bones, and some angles which are related to the biomechanics of hip joint, and then capsular ligaments, and then kinetic and kinematics of hip joint. So in the first section, the bones of hip joints. Bones of hip joint. Hip joint is formed by the femur and acetabulum. So in this, first we will discuss about the articular surface, that is head of femur and acetabulum, and two angles on femur and two angles on acetabulum. Angle of femurs, that is angle of torsion, and angle of inclination, and two angles on acetabulum, that is center edge angle and acetabular anteversion. Femur. In femur, that is head of femur, this is the head of femur. Because hip joint is a classical example of ball and socket type of synovial joint. Head is a classic ball in a socket of the hip joints, and it is a synovial joint, so it's covered with a, the articular surface is covered with a articular cartilage except its center. In center of head there is a ligament called ligamentum teres. Ligamentum teres. Ligamentum teres is a ligament, and this hip joint have capsule like this. So neck and head intracapsular, okay, and this ligament is a intracapsular but extra synovial because it is a synovial joint, so it has ligament and capsule also. Ligament and capsule. In this ligamentum teres provide stability to the joint. Now angles. Femur has two angles. First angle is angle of inclination, that is angle of inclination. Angle of inclination is the angle formed by the neck of femur and shaft of femur. This angle. So it is also called neck shaft angle. This angle of femur in frontal plane, like this. So in frontal plane, angle of shaft and angle of neck is called angle of inclination, or it is also called neck shaft angle. At the time of childbirth, this angle is around 140 to 150 degree. 140 to 150 degree, but in adult it is around, it reduced and around 25 degree. If this angle of inclination is more than or less than this 125 degree, it changes the alignment of the neck and shaft, so that the neck shaft angle is changed, so change the alignment of the whole hip joint. So if this angle is like increase or decrease, is change the alignment. So if this angle is increase, if this angle is increased, this move femur in valgus direction, so it is called coxa valga. And if this angle is reduced, it is called coxa vara. In coxa vara angle of inclination position, the chances of hip joint superior dislocation is more. Now move on. Next angle, angle of torsion. Angle of torsion. Suppose this is a transverse section, transverse view from the hip joint, and this is anterior side and this is posterior side, representing right hip joints. And in this hip bone, this is a head of hip bone, neck and shaft. The alignment of condyles of hip bone in transverse plane, in frontal plane, and neck and head is slightly anterior to the frontal plane, slight anterior to the frontal plane. So this angle is in transverse plane angle, and in normal case the head and neck is slight anterior to the plane of the condyles of hip joints. At the time of childbirth, this angle is around 40 degree, but in adult this angle is around 10 to 15 degree. If this angle is increase in adult or decrease in adult, if this angle is increase in adult, it's called anteversion, and this angle is decreased, it's called retroversion. If this angle is increased, means this is, suppose this is a cavity of acetabulum and this is head. If this angle is angle of torsion is increased, means head is more anterior. If head is more anterior, it is away from the acetabulum, so more chance of hip joint dislocation. And if it is in retroversion, it is less chance for hip dislocation, anterior hip dislocation. Now move on acetabulum. Hip bone. For biomechanical point of view, in hip bone we will discuss about acetabulum, central edge angle and acetabular anteversion angle. In acetabulum, acetabulum is a deep semi-hemisphere cup-like structure, and the rim of acetabulum is incomplete in its inferior part. The acetabular labrum cover the acetabulum is a cartilaginous ring cover the acetabulum rim. It increased the depth of its cavity. Acetabulum has two parts. Outer is horseshoe shape. Horseshoe shape lunate articular surface. It is articular surface for, this is a contact area. This is a lunate articular surface. This is a articular surface for weight bearing area. So it is a weight bearing area. So it covered with articular cartilage. The weight bearing during normal gait cycle in this area is around 13 to 300% in normal gait cycle. 300% of body weight in normal gait cycle. And the central part is called acetabular fossa. Acetabular fossa. It is non-contact area. Because it is non-contact area, so acetabular, so articular cartilage absent in this area. So no articular cartilage in central part. And this area contain ligamentum teres. This area contain ligamentum teres. And blood vessels and contact with synovial membrane. Now move on angles of acetabulum. As angle is described the extent to which acetabulum is cover the head of femur in frontal plane. If head of femur is in like this, it less cover, and if it is more cover. So it is the angle of acetabulum, one line from the vertical line and other line, this one line is vertical line and this other line is the from center to the edge of the acetabulum. If this edge is less, so it cover the acetabulum up to less extent, and this angle will be reduced, so that the central edge angle is the angle in frontal plane, this angle represents the up to which extent the acetabulum cover the head of femur to oppose vertical forces. In normal adult, this angle is around 35 to 40 degree. If this angle is less than 35 degree, the acetabulum is more vertical, so more risk of superior hip joint dislocation. This angle describes the extent to which acetabulum covers the head of femur in the horizontal plane. So, suppose this is a acetabulum, head of femur. So, angle is formed by the edge of acetabulum and horizontal line passing from center of the head. So, this angle. In normal condition, this angle is around 20 degree. If this pathological increase this angle, if this angle is increased so that head of, suppose if this is this part, entire part of head is less cover, so that this angle is passing is little bit increase of, if this angle is increased, so acetabular surface cover the head of femur is reduced, so it increases the chances of hip joint dislocation in anterior direction. Now move on articular cartilage and joint capsule. Capsule of hip joint. Capsule of hip joint covers head and neck of the femur. So, head and neck intracapsular and greater and lesser trochanter extracapsular. Capsule from inside or inner side is lined by synovial membrane and from inner side and for outer side it's supported by ligaments. Capsule has two types of fibers, longitudinal and circular. Longitudinal fibers are the superficial fiber and circular fiber are deep fiber. And circular fiber form a collar around neck of femur like this to prevent hip dislocation, and this fiber is called zona orbicularis. And this capsule if this is a capsule superior, inferior portion, anterior and posterior. In this anterior superior part is thick part for stability of the hip joint, prevent dislocation, and inferior posterior part is thin and weak part. and superior this is thick and strong. Ligaments of hip joint. Mainly four ligaments are responsible for the stability of hip joint. These are ligamentum teres, iliofemoral ligament, pivofemoral ligament, and ischofemoral ligament. So first is ligamentum teres. Ligamentum teres is also called ligament of head of femur because it directly attached to the head of femur, mainly in the center of the head. Ligamentum teres is a triangular shaped ligament because it is a triangular shaped ligament. Triangular shaped ligament, so it have two attachment, base and apex. So base is attached on the peripheral edge of the acetabulum. This and apex is attached on the head of femur. This ligament is intracapsular but extrasynovial, means inside the capsule but outside the synovial sac. This ligament provides stability to the hip joint. It maintains head of humerus inside the acetabular cavity. This small ligament, transverse acetabular ligament, attached on the rim of the acetabulum, incomplete rim of the acetabulum. It increases concavity of the acetabulum from its inferior side. When hip joint in semi-flex with abduction position, it stretch on the ligamentum teres. It means flexion with abduction. Now move on iliofemoral and pivofemoral ligament. Iliofemoral and pivofemoral. These iliofemoral and pivofemoral are anterior ligament in which iliofemoral is a inverted Y-shaped ligament. So inverted Y-shaped fan-like ligament, and this is attached on upper part, attached on ilium and rim of acetabulum, and this lower part attached on the intertrochanteric line. So this is a upper part attached on the iliac part and rim of the acetabulum, and lower part on the iliac crest, lower part on the intertrochanteric line, and this is a inverted Y-shaped ligament. This ligament stretch when hip joint is in extension. So it will prevent anterior dislocation of hip joint along with anterior capsule of hip. Now move on pivofemoral ligament. Pivofemoral ligament. Pivofemoral ligament is a ligament proximally attached on the obturator crest and superior ramus of pubis, and distal attachment of on the capsule and deep surface of vertical band of iliofemoral ligament, like this. It is deep to the iliofemoral ligament, and the function of this is this pivofemoral ligament stretch in abduction, hip abduction. Ischiofemoral ligament is the posterior ligament. So this ligament provides stability for posteriorly to prevent posterior hip dislocation. Ischiofemoral means one attachment on ischium and another attachment on femoral. Its proximal attachment on ischium and distal attachment on greater trochanter deep to iliofemoral ligament, means this ligament is deep to the iliofemoral ligament, and this ligament